And it's a Triple B right here. Beast Boxing Basement. Yeah. What's up, man? Yeah, just talking. Well, I'm going to talk. I've already talked about the Moses Itauma Dillian Whyte fight, which, to be fair, is a good fight, you know? To be fair, is a good fight. And I was looking at the undercard, and it's completely whack. It's only got 5 fights on it, right? The main one of any interest is Filip Hrgovic, David Adeleye, which I'll get onto, what this video is about. But firstly, I just want to slag off the event. I mean, blood clot. It's in Riyadh as well. I didn't realise, man. I thought it was in the UK somewhere. And I'm just looking, and it's in Riyadh. Yeah? You know. And it's on pay-per-view. Now, I knew it was on pay-per-view when they announced it, but it's nuts, right? If you live in the US, I mean, the US gets stitched up as much as the Australian market. I mean, to be a US fan, boxing fan, right? And you know, to not know how to, I don't know if they got fire sticks over there or to not know how to use streams. I mean, you've got to pay through the nose blood. You got to, you know, I mean, every single half decent fight is pay-per-view. This one is $39.99 in the US. Yeah, what's that, about 35 quid? Yeah, it's $15.99 in the UK. I mean, you're having a bubble here. I mean, you know, no one on the bill is a big name. Oh, Moses Itauma, obviously. You know, the Slovakian, Nigerian Brit or whatever. And real name Enrico. He changed it to Moses. I like that, Moses. He's a Christian, you know. I mean, that's probably why I chose it. I don't know what's wrong with Enrico. Enrico's not a bad name. But I kind of like Moses. Now, I mean, like, so you're paying $15.99, yeah, in the UK, right, to watch Moses Itauma, who, fair enough, you know, he's probably, well, you know, everyone will say he's the biggest prospect in heavyweight boxing. I think that's fair enough. You know, obviously there's never that many good heavyweight prospects coming up. There's never that many good heavyweights, full stop. That's why if you're a big lump, you can hold your hands up, you know, and you know, you don't mind being hit now and again. You can make some money as a heavyweight. You better be big these days, though. Itauma's, I think he's about 230 pounds. He's allegedly, I think he's still allegedly 20, isn't he? At least we're not going to have to hear about the boring. Well, you know we're going to have to hear about the boring. Oh, he wanted to beat Mike Tyson's record. Sorry. It's, as Adam Smith might say. You know he's going to mention it, the bum. I can't stand Adam Smith with his shiny face, his lies, his cringe cliches, repeating everything. He knows nothing about boxing. Anyway, I've slagged him off enough times. But, so the undercard. So, I mean, like, you know, Itauma Whyte, I've already covered it. It's not a bad event. You know, it'll be Itauma's first real test. Yeah, White's a bit shot. You know, he's getting on. What is he, like 37, I think? I'd give him a little chance. The odds are very heavily in Itauma's favour. I mean, you know, it's very possible that Itauma could just blast him out in a round. I mean, you know, or a couple of rounds. I mean, in White's chin's okay, but he has been put over. You know, it's not like the man hasn't gone over a few times, spectacularly. In the case, you know, in the case of what's his name, Alex Povetkin. Now, yeah, Tyson Fury did him pretty spectacularly too. Gay J did him pretty. He's been done 3 times. That was only 3 losses, but you know, like I said, he's 37. He used to be called Dylan the Villain, and now he's called the Body Snatcher. I don't know. Dylan the Villain sounds a bit better to me. The Body Snatcher's Mike McCallum's name, not his. R.I.P. Mike McCallum, by the way. Anyway, so. You know, him, he's Moses Itauma, yeah. I mean, I ain't got no problem with that fight. But pay-per-view? Are you smoking crack, DAZN? What happened to no more pay-per-views? You know, DAZN said that years ago. Yeah, and then what's his face? Turki Al Sheikh said it as well, but this one is. I mean, like, what's going on, man? I don't mind pay-per-view if it's a huge fight with a thick undercard. This is neither. This is a decent British level fight. And it's $15.99. And you get the undercard of Raymond Ford. Yeah, he's a decent fighter. But, this is a British card, really. Right? Because the two main fighters are Itauma, Whyte. And on the undercard, the most interesting fight is David Adeleye vis Filip Hrgovic. Yeah? Filip Hrgovic. The real life Geiger Chad, Filip Hrgovic. Yeah, I don't know if you know what a Geiger Chad is, but Filip Hrgovic looks like the real life one. Believe that. He'd be ruling. He'd be ruling the roost. If it was back in the caveman days, he'd be getting all the females. He'd be leaving the scraps, the scrubs for the other people. He'd probably have a second in command, Most people, mostly when you get a guy's top dog, they'll always have a pal with them who's, fairly hard, but will never challenge their position. So he'd throw a few scraps to a second in command, a few scrubs. And then all the inbred ugly girls could go to the rest of the tribe. And Hrgovic would bang, all the hot girls of the tribe. Hrgovic, Adeleye. That's an interesting fight. Again, Hrgovic is a decent favourite, and so he should be. Adeleye has looked better recently, with regards to, his win over Solomon Dakers, because Solomon Dakers beat unbeaten Vladimir Sirenko, although he was very disappointing, Sirenko. So that's a decent win. Adeleye can definitely bang. He's almost certainly juiced up. He's yet another one. He's just put on loads and loads of muscle, raw muscle. He's probably got a good physician, eh? Hrgovic vs Adeleye. Yeah. There's something very dislikable about Adeleye. He plays the real bad man and gangster. Apparently, he comes from a Nigerian family. They got a few quid. There's a lot of money from Nigerians. It's only the 1% that have it, right? There's a lot of natural resources and stuff like that in Nigeria, And they all come over now and send their kids to English public private schools, yeah? And get nice houses in London. You see them even in Chelsea and that, living it up in Chelsea, innit? You go to any English public school now, by that, for Americans, it's stupid. But public school actually is a private school. That's stupid, but that's what they call it. There's some reason for it, like it was originally open to everyone, but you had to pay. It's kind of stupid. You can get a scholarship, but anyway, they're saying about a stupid, backward, retarded English school system, which is based around hierarchy and snobbery. But Hrgovic, I don't want to repeat myself, but he's flattered to deceive. Like, he was always going to, 19 or 20, he was sparring David Gay and Deontay Wilder. He got a bronze medal. He's 6'6". He's pretty big. But everyone was, he was predicting him to be a champion, world champion. He was unbeaten. He was going through the motions. He beat Zhang. He beat Dempsey McKean, but it took him 12 rounds. It took Itauma 1 round. Zhou Zhang was very close, and he got put over. Although it was a weird knockdown. He's got a good chin. What's his face? He's got a good chin, Hrgovic. But apart from that, there ain't a lot there, you know what I'm saying? Mark Demori, the legendary Mark Demori, got done in a round. I won on that as well. I think I did a video about that. Get on that one. But Dubum beat him in 8 rounds. I was very surprised by that. It was on the doctor's advice, because he was cut on both eyes. A lot of that was headbutts. But Hrgovic, I don't know, his heart don't seem in boxing. He lost his dad, and I don't know, he always gasses a bit, He always looks a bit sort of clumsy and awkward, but he's got a good chin, But I was very surprised by the Dubum win. I did think that Hrgovic's right hand would eventually stop, or rather make Daniel quit. But so we've got Adeleye vs Hrgovic, and that's not a fight I got a problem with. I just don't want it on pay-per-view, you get me? You got to go for Hrgovic, of course. He's 33 now, El Animal. I don't know why I chose a Spanish nickname. He's Croatian. David Adeleye is the big D. The big D. Well, that's okay, I guess. He's 28. He ain't no spring chicken, I guess, but for heavyweight, that's pretty young. And he obviously got flattened by Wardley. You remember him with his tongue hanging out, you know, after being flattened by Wardley, after giving it the big one. That was a good fight in the sense it was action-packed. He knocked out Jamie Shikaver in his last fight with a punch after he got told to break. They assumed there was going to be a rematch. Didn't happen. The weird thing with Hrgovic is he was meant to fight Sanchez in an IBF eliminator, but instead he's fighting David Adeleye. Now, that can only be because of the cash money, yeah? And because it's a Riyadh spectacle, you know, there might be some turkey money there. It's a joint promotion, Matchroom and Queensbury. But like I said, you know, I think Hrgovic will probably, I don't know, grind down Adeleye. What is it? Let's see how many rounds there is. Please be a 12-rounder. It doesn't say yet on BoxRec whether it's a 12-rounder. I hope it is a 12-rounder, you know. But it doesn't say at this point. Probably, you know, he might even win on points, Hrgovic. He kind of, you know, I mean, if you let Dempsey McCain get into the 12th round, then, you know, how big a puncher are you, yeah? Yeah, he's blown out. You know, he's got a decent knockout percentage, you know, like around 75%. But I reckon they'll probably have a nice slugfest. I think he'll probably grind down Adeleye. But it's not impossible that Adeleye... I don't think Adeleye would knock him out. Although chins can go, especially at heavyweight. He's got a solid chin, Hrgovic. But, you know, it's not impossible that Adeleye... He didn't look great against Shikaver, to be honest. But it's not impossible that Adeleye might outwork Hrgovic, especially in a 10-rounder. But I'm going for Hrgovic. Late round stoppage, especially if it's a 12-rounder. But yeah, I mean, this I would definitely not buy, right? You know, I bought the Usyk one. Usyk vs Dubon one. Because I wanted a clear, uninterrupted stream that I could do a live on. It cost me 25 quid and I was very bitter about that. But luckily me funds funded it for me. But yeah, so the problem is this is so it's 15.99, so it's whatever around 10 or 9 quid less than the Usyk fight. But Usyk's one of the best fighters. Well, it's the best fighter in the world. And there's only 5 fighters on this bum bill. Nick Ball, the midget. He's Sam Goodman. I mean, you know, Nick Ball's kind of fun to watch, but, you know, he's still a midget. Raymond Ford, I ain't that bothered about. You know, Nick Ball already beat him. He's not that exciting. You know, I don't really care about his midgets. You know, they could have made it an all-heavyweight card. That would have made sense with only 5 fights, an all-heavyweight card. And then they got a guy called Hayato Tsutsumi. Hi! Arigato! Hi! He looks like a lesbian. He's a weird-looking guy. I mean, Inoue also looks like a lesbian. It's quite weird, but yeah, look at him. Okay, so we've got the lesbian Jap. He's been pro since... he's only had 7 fights with 4 stoppages. He's been pro for since 2022. He's... I don't know how to pronounce this. Case Ashfaq. He looks like a, you know... yeah, inbred. 32-year-old. He's lost to Mark Leach, Masood Abdullah KO. I don't care about this fight. I don't bother predicting it. I imagine the lesbian Japanese will win it. You know, with the perfectly plucked eyebrows. But no one cares about these fights. If they'd made 5, so only 5 fights for $15.99. Not a single, well, 1 world title, sorry, but a midget, Nick Ball. What is he, a featherweight? 5'2" midget. You know what I'm saying? Nick the Wrecking Ball. I mean, come on, man. And you want us to pay $15.99. If they'd made it a pure heavyweight bill, yeah, with 5 heavyweight fights involving good fighters, I'm like, okay, I don't like it, but if it's good enough, I'll pay for it. But this is just rubbish, man. This is outrageous. No way I'm paying for this thing. No way I'm paying for this thing. I'll try and do it live, but believe that, I shall be looking at other ways to look at what's going on in this fight. And, believe me, the only two fights I really care about, Hrgovic, Adeleye, Itauma, Whyte. I don't care about the Libyan Japanese, or Raymond Ford, or Abraham Nova, who's a black guy, dyes his hair beard blonde. That's his little gimmick. I don't care about his gimmick. Nick the Wrecking Ball is a midget. Sam Goodman, what is he, an Aussie? I don't care, man. I don't really care. I watched him. I don't care, man. Anyone paying for this, especially in America, must be nuts. Absolutely nuts. Anyway, it's embarrassing. Enough about to talk about this thing. Yeah, I'm going to go and watch some paint dry. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Oh, yeah. I guess the one redeeming feature about the bill, I forgot to mention this, is at least we don't have to see Moses' Itauma's absolute bum of a brother with a woman's name, Carol Itauma. Now, I know Carol, in a lot of East European countries just means Carl, but, Carol, he's a bum anyway. Some complete stiff who never boxed out of Argentina and he'd been KO'd loads of times, banged him out, So at least we don't have to see his bum brother. He should retire anyway. Why? Because he's a bum. Anyway, see ya.